You don't need to eat anything other than meat, some eggs, some cheese, an occasional veggie or something. You don't need coffee.
No.
You don't need tea. You don't need soda. You don't need any of that stuff.
But boy, do they make Joe friendlier.
Welcome to Keto Beyond the Couch, episode 352.
I'm Rachel.
And I'm Joe.
And we are two crazy ketos.
Welcome back to Keto Beyond the Couch, live from the 2KK birthday cruise on Royal Caribbean's Freedom of the Seas.
Joe, we are not live. This is absolutely pre-recorded. I mean, we are all live, checking
We're
in.
live.
All live.
But we're live.
Yeah.
We're just not live for them right now.
Okay.
But we're still live.
All right.
And then you guys are watching pre-recorded. Normally we do Keto Beyond the Couch live whenever we can do it possible, but we're currently on the 2KK birthday cruise, and I don't trust the internet to be able to do it live.
No.
So we are pre-recording. We'll be back live next week. Funny thing, we actually told our group in the group chat that we were going to go film Keto Beyond the Couch, and there's a whole bunch of people going, you should do this live with a studio audience.
We have too much fun.
I'm like, no. Number one, I don't trust our studio audience.
We have fun.
Number two, I don't trust the internet. I remember years ago when I told Rachel I wanted to start doing live streams, and she's like, no, I don't trust you. I don't trust what you're going to say.
I was so fearful. I'm so thankful that we're able to do lives now, but I was really nervous. Now, you did say something, and it just kind of went really fast, but birthday cruise. You had a birthday yesterday.
Yes, turned 55.
55 years old. How old do you feel?
35.
And when you were 35, how old did you feel?
55.
I like that flip-flop. I'm really thankful that the way that we eat continues to make you feel younger.
I met a gentleman yesterday at the pool who just he really gave me an exploded head.
Did he?
Yes. Because I was getting a drink at the bar, and the girl had my card. She had to scan my card for my San Pellegrino, and she held on to it, and then I watched her give my card back to this gentleman.
Ruh-roh.
And I'm like, that's my card. She's like, no. I'm like, no, I know it's my card because my card has birthday confetti all over it. So I knew it was mine. And then the guy saw it and he's like, yep, this is your card. And he's like, happy birthday. And he asked me how old I was. And I'm like, I'm 55. And he's like, oh, I would have sworn you were 45.
Aww.
And I'm like, boy, talk about just letting it all go to your head. I'm like, ooh, he's telling me. I mean, a guy is telling me that I feel 45. Guys, don't do that if you didn't know that.
How encouraging.
Made me feel good about myself.
I'm glad.
No, this has been an amazing cruise.
Truly.
I absolutely love this cruise. If you're new to our channel, we do the 2KK Getaway Cruise every year. It started off with just a one-time thing, but it is evolved into so much more. This is all about community. There's no speakers, there's no conferences or anything like that. It's about getting together and having some community, and honestly, there's been some life-changing things happening on this cruise.
I'm gonna say, because we have one coming up next year on the MSC Seashore.
Yep.
It's gonna be happening in October for people who are like, you know what, it's too hard for me to do it in December with the holidays. October may fit better into your schedule, and if it does, I'm going to encourage you to come. It is not for us. It is for you. It's not, you don't want to come on this cruise because of us. You want to come on this cruise because of all of the other cruisers that are part of the 2KK family. We actually had a pajama party this morning for all of the ladies, and we had so many games. We had so much laughter, so much joy. This is a life-giving event. And you need it in your life, because I'm telling you what, it's not just about dialing in the macros. It is about doing life together.
Yeah, so check out the link down below. Next year's cruise is actually going to be on the MSC Seashore, like Rachel said, out of Port Canaveral. It leaves on October 4th. And here's the thing, it is the best rate we've ever gotten on a group cruise. You can get an ocean view balcony for two people. This is not per person. For two people, ocean view balcony, including taxes and port fees, for less than $1,600. We also have interiors. We also have a couple of ocean views without a balcony. absolutely best rate we've ever been able to get. You can leave a deposit. Your deposit is fully refundable up till final payment date, which is in July of next year. But we are running out of space. We do cap this cruise at 100 people because this is, again, about community.
Yes.
And we really can't foster community with more than 100 people. If it really becomes a thing and more people like it, maybe we'll do 2 a year. But right now, there's only one, and it is quickly filling up. So check out the link down below. While you're down there checking out that link, also check out the link for today's sponsor, which is Redmond Real Salt.
We absolutely love Redmond, and some people don't realize Redmond's probably already in your life, because if you live in a winter state that uses salt on the roads, Redmond.
Yes.
If you appreciate the cows, Redmond is the salt provided for most agriculture.
Yes.
And then they also have human grade salt, and that's what we really enjoy. And they sell salt, they sell electrolytes, they sell seasoning blends, they even sell skincare products, things like toothpaste and facial scrubs. Redmond is amazing.
We absolutely love Redmond. We've had the privilege of being inside of their mine a couple of times. Just the way the whole mining operation runs is incredible. And here's the thing. Redmond is salt from an underground mine right here in Utah. People ask us all the time, what salt should I use? You should be using Redmond. Whatever you do, don't use the stuff with the girl on the umbrella that you're buying in the grocery store. That stuff's got sugar in it. And also, I always tell people, don't buy Himalayan pink salt for a couple reasons. Number one, Himalayan pink salt is coming from the other side of the world. That's not the United States. Why would you buy salt from the other side of the world when you can buy it from right here in the United States, and it's a better quality? The other thing is we don't know what kind of mining practices are happening when they are mining that salt overlay in the Himalayas. More importantly, though, a lot of the Himalayan pink salt that's here in the United States, it's not even real. It's salt that's been colored pink so that suckers like us buy it thinking it is Himalayan pink salt.
I hate scammers.
So if you're looking for a really good quality salt, check out Redmond using the link that's right here on the screen or the one that's down below in the description box. And when you use the code 2krazyketos, you'll get 15% off of your order. Let's get right into Keto Beyond the Couch. I do want to just let you guys know, if you're new here, this is about our subscribers. We do this every Monday at 10 a.m. We do it live whenever possible, and it's all about celebrating our subscribers, their wins, their victories, also answering questions about keto and carnivore. We ask you, please head on over to our social media groups like our Mighty Network group at members.2krazyketos.com. Share your story.
Yes.
It is super important. I'm not asking you to share your story for content. I'm asking you to share your story because it's going to do two things. Number one, it's going to help encourage you and remind you where you came from. More importantly, though, it encourages other people. There's somebody out there right now that's thinking, nobody else gets me.
Right.
Nobody else understands what I'm going through. And when you share your story, that really helps them to go, oh, other people have this same problem. And that's why we ask you to share your story. Your story could be something from, I bent over for the first time to tie my shoes in 10 years, all the way up to I lost 300 pounds. So whatever it is, head on over and share your story. Now, the first one we have is actually from Carrie.
Hi, Carrie.
Carrie put up a screenshot of their steps program, and it said on average their steps for the month were more than last month at 11,237 steps per day for the month of November. October was only 6,201 steps. And then they wrote, I set a goal for November to walk 10,000 steps a day. I was really struggling with a number of health issues. None of them were related to carbs or abusing sugar-free sweeteners. I definitely feel better, but by no means have my health issues resolved. Frankly, it was very difficult to get those steps in. At times, the challenge is so overwhelming that I could cry, but the bottom line is, it's worth it.
Carrie, thank you so much for sharing this true victory. And, you know, having eyes on different things is really important, because sometimes we can stay stuck in the one thing that we're not having success in and just stay stuck there. But by seeing, hey, guess what? Even though November was hard, you got more steps in than you did in October. That's victory. And I really appreciate you sharing that victory.
Next one is from
Chris Scott.
Chris Scott. At 45 years old, I began my health journey while struggling with chronic rheumatoid arthritis and obesity, weighing 220 pounds. On December 14th, I will celebrate my 52nd birthday. Despite having wrinkles and gray hair, I feel healthier and stronger than I did in my 20s.
That's it. I mean, you can absolutely echo that same thing, right? Because you have a December birthday too, and you feel much younger. Now, how has keto helped with your arthritis? Because they were talking about arthritis. You've also experienced arthritis.
Now, before I get into that, I did want to share the picture.
Oh, wow.
And look at this. It says it's been 7 years since I started my health journey. It started with changing my eating habits to a ketogenic diet. Then I added an exercise like walking, strength training, and lifting weights. And look at that difference.
Congratulations. That is absolutely incredible. Now, when you see somebody like lifting weights and moving their body, like how does arthritis really limit you from pursuing that previously?
Pain, just the movement. You don't want to move. I mean, it just, your arthritis doesn't go away. The inflammation subsides, which helps with the symptoms, but it is just life-changing to not have that constant pain, the stiffness, the achiness that I had pre-keto. Mm-hmm. And so it really is life-changing. And like you're talking about with the changing, with my birthday, and I'm 55 years old, I certainly don't feel 55 in the mind. My body doesn't feel 55. I don't even have the aches and the pains, even though I honestly abuse my body with constant bumping things and lifting things and doing things that I shouldn't do. So I get lots of cuts and bruises and stuff like that. But I still don't have the pain that I had just 10 years ago.
Well, that's kind of young man moves. You're acting very young. What do young people do? They make some mistakes.
Try to pick up your wife and throw her over your shoulders.
They have bumps and bruises, and it's nice to know there's room to be young still.
Yes. Next one is from Meg.
Hi, Meg.
Said, I'm back after our move. I got my workout in, and I've been staying on my way of eating. On Thanksgiving, I decided to see where I was a year ago, and I've lost 25 pounds this year. 77 pounds total loss over 5 years. It's slow going, but it's going. Consistency has been the key for me.
I am so proud of you. And that, going through any type of stressful thing, even if it's a good stress like moving, can really set you back. So the fact that you are continuing to go is awesome. And hey, slow and steady wins the race. Yep. And you know what? This life is not a sprint. I am hoping that you have miles and miles and years to go, right? And that is victory. So just keep on keeping on.
Next one is from Shirley.
Hi, Shirley.
So I heard from my daughter that Redmond's real salt has lead and other bad chemicals in it. I have used it and the seasonings for a few years and have quite a bit in the house. What else should I use? Do you all still approve of it as well as Dr. Berry and others? Now, I cannot speak for Dr. Berry, but personally, but I do know that they still use and have talked about Redmond in their videos. As we said earlier in the video, Redmond is a sponsor for today's video. That's not why we use it. We use Redmond because I think it is the best salt you can get. It is from an underground mine. It is not touched by the current modern environmental issues of smog and pollution in the ocean, which is what you're going to get in most sea salts. The lead thing. I'll leave a link down below. Redmond has a whole blog post about this. But there is lead in everything. If you go buy cinnamon, there is lead in that. You have to look at the amounts of lead. And when you look at what Redmond says they have found, they talk about it in their blog post. The number that they give, which I believe is 200 parts per billion, was the highest number. They're not giving you this is what its average is. They're looking at what was the highest number we've ever recorded. Now remember, you have a giant mine and they're pulling salt from all over the mine, and the highest they've ever found in an underground mine was 200 parts per billion. When you equate that to water or candy, it is actually less, especially when you take into account how much salt are you eating, compared to how much water are you drinking, how much candy are you eating. Hopefully, if you're on keto, you're not eating any candy. But the government has like acceptable levels for different ones. And so when you look at like the acceptable levels for lead in candy, it is higher than acceptable levels of lead in water. Why? Because you're going to drink more water than consume candy.
Hopefully.
You have to look at how much would you be putting into your body, not parts per billion in the product, how much of that makes it into your body. And in the end, if you looked at even at 200 parts per billion, it's still nothing compared to the lead that you're going to get in your body when you're drinking water or exposing it to anything else. But I think that this is not a big issue that people like to make it out to be. But you're going to find lead, if it grows in the ground,
Yes.
it's generally going to have some type of lead showing up in it. That is not saying that you shouldn't consume it, because guess what? The animals that we are eating also get that.
Yeah.
You're not eating a lead pencil.
No, you're not.
Okay, so that is something to think about. But check out the blog post that Redmond has down below. But for us, we do use and endorse Redmond. I think it's one of the best salts that you can possibly consume. Next one we have is from Lori.
Hey, Lori.
I'm officially 40 pounds down. I feel like I am somewhere between a turtle and a snail's pace, but I am doing it.
I am doing it. Lori, I am so incredibly proud of you, girl. You never give up, and that is the key.
Yeah.
I love it.
Next one's from Larry.
Hey, Larry.
Non-scale victory. Earlier today, my wife Barbara and I decided to do some Christmas shopping on the square of Columbia, Tennessee. I'm so happy we walked. Something I would not have been able to do before May of this year. Talk about a non-scale victory.
Hear that. I would not be able to have the same excursion today in just May of this year. What victory. Larry, I'm so stinking proud of you.
Let's take a quick fade to black and come back with the rest of the questions. So I have a question for you. This is probably a loaded question.
Uh-oh.
What has been your favorite part of the cruise?
Seeing other people get into a deep conversation and they begin to laugh, and just like the joy just starts to flow out because they've let their guard down, and people stop being internet friends and they start being real friends.
Yeah.
And that is a blessing, because again, we're firm believers that you should not be doing life alone. Well, the only way that you're gonna stop doing life alone is if you engage, and it can be hard. This becomes like, the 5th grade dance where everybody's kind of afraid at first to like get together. Is it safe? Am I going to be received well? Am I going to be accepted? And when people have that moment of spark where it's like, wow, everyone really is nice and approachable, and this really is fun. And yeah, we do some like silly things and we have some fun talks, right? But it is just so full of joy. It allows everybody to just become friends.
Talk about silly things. We did our group photo last night. Every time we do this cruise, Rachel and I pay for a group photo. Royal Caribbean charges us a big fee. We do this group photo and then we distribute it to everybody that's on the cruise digitally. So everybody gets a digital copy of it. We did it on the stairs, which the first time we ever did this cruise, we were on Liberty of the Seas and we had a much smaller group.
Yeah.
We filled the stairs to the point where the photographer said the only other option would be for us to all go out to the helipad.
So we have reached that point where we have run out of stairs.
We've run out of stairs to do a group photo. So moving forward, to continue this cruise, it will have to either be on a larger cruise ship. We don't do the group photo at all.
We gotta do the group photo.
Or somehow we convince a cruise line to let us have the stage in the theater, because we're out of room for it. But when I think of what is my all-time high of this cruise, was looking at that photo. I went down this morning, I picked up the digital photo, and I like literally like looking at this photo, like crying, like, because this photo represents victory. of more than 45 people.
And each story is an individual story. I don't look at it either and say, well, this is a group. I see a group made out of individuals who have fought so hard. This is hard-earned victory. I see medications prescribed. I see mobility gained. I see years added to lives. And I think about all of the family and friends that love these people. Like, we love these people. And this means more time with them.
Yeah.
And that really blesses my heart.
And this leads us to today's topic with how do you get movement in? How do you continue, toning your body, working on your body when you're on the road? And so we have this comment from Kelly.
Hey, Kelly.
Kelly is currently on our cruise with us.
Along with Haley.
Right? Kelly said, I've been on the road for a couple of days because she drove.
Wow.
Right? I did not want to stop with movement and functional fitness. So I packed some bands and I used a railing for some stretching. I'm sure the people on the balconies had quite a laugh. But this brings us to, I don't want to hear excuses from somebody that I can't get movement in. I'm too busy, including us. Nobody is too busy to get movement in.
No.
If you have time to do anything, if you have 5 minutes to scroll on Facebook or watch one of our videos, then you have time for movement, because you can do 2 of those things at the same time, right? What else can you do? If you don't have a big gym, a set of bands, you can literally fit that in your glove box. You can fit it in your suitcase. You can literally, aside from the fact that a cruise has a fitness center, if you don't want to go to the fitness center, like I don't want to exercise in front of people, right, and have them make fun of me, I could bring a set of bands, strap them up underneath the table or the bed or on my balcony, and do some quick movement exercises to work on strength training.
And I gotta say, we are so blessed in this community to have Kelly P and Haley on this cruise. And Kelly is so encouraging of movement. In fact, join the Mighty Network's movement group. It's free. And Kelly is somebody who is a connections person in that group. Every day she is posting ways to get it in. And Kelly is not just saying, looking down on people like, I'm so good at fitness and like, don't you wish you were like me? No, Kelly's had so many challenges in her life, in her health journey, that maintaining mobility is freedom to her. When we take for granted that we can move, Kelly is earning movement. It is a hard-fought victory every time she moves her body. And actually, right now as we are taping this, she is going to be joining some people attempting to climb the rock wall. And she was sharing her story as we were kind of like getting together and conversing, and people were amazed at what she has triumphed over, because she's so amazing that you're like, I would never know. But it's because she is consistent in getting the movement in, and she rejoices every time she's able to do something. So, she always helps me turn my attitude around when it's like, I have to move. No, you get to move. And like you're saying, if you've got time to scroll, if you've got time to marathon these Hallmark holiday movies, then you have an opportunity to just get 10 minutes a day of movement in.
Next one is from Eileen.
Hi, Eileen.
Said, yikes, I just looked around my kitchen and I realized I forgot to refrigerate the 36-hour Super Gut yogurt that finished at 9:30 last night. I stirred it and I tasted it and it seems fine. I hope I didn't just waste a half a gallon and half and half. You absolutely did not. Here is the thing about yogurt. Remember how we make yogurt. Yogurt is made by keeping your cultures and having it actually become yogurt at 110 degrees. So unless your house is higher than 110 degrees in temperature, I sure hope it's not, you're completely fine. You just end up getting more yogurt cultures and less sugars. because so long as you're at that temperature, those yogurt cultures are continuing, those microbes, they're continuing to multiply and eat up more of the sugars. So at this point, you pretty much have essentially a 0 carb yogurt. It's going to be great. It's going to be full of good microbiomes, very good for your body. So have at it. In fact, when we make our yogurt and we strain it, so if you haven't seen the video, go take a look at it, but we strain our yogurt into a yogurt strainer. And then when we put it in that yogurt strainer, we don't strain it in the refrigerator. I let it sit on the counter for another like 12 hours, at least overnight, because it strains faster and we end up with a nice thicker yogurt.
Now, Joe, just because you have until 110 degrees doesn't mean you got to keep the house at 110 degrees.
Don't really like that. Another thing, by the way, just off topic, put your butter on the counter. People ask about butter all the time.
Not your butt, your butter.
I keep seeing Facebook posts about, like, is it safe to put butter on the counter? Yes, it is. The only butter that you don't want to store on your counter would be unsalted. If you are consuming salted butter, it's perfectly fine to leave it on your countertop for about 2 weeks, because that salt is going to inhibit any bacterial growth. So if you're like me and you like spreadable butter, don't go buy garbage spreadable butter, which they have added oils and probably like not good oils. Just stick it on the counter. It's good there for about 2 weeks. Next one we have is from Laura.
Hi, Laura.
Laura said, question. So over this weekend, I discovered that with my Creole heritage, my great-grandparents used to collect acorns and make a flour from it. From the flour, my mom said her grandma, Titi, would make bread, a type of tamale, and use the flour in many of her dishes, which was taught to her by her Native American mother. Does anybody know more about this acorn flour? My mom said she never tried to make it, and so the tradition has been lost. I'm curious if it would be a better alternative to almond flour, as it's inflammatory for me. Is it a lower carb option, lower inflammatory? Tell me what you know. I'm ready to learn. I actually know a lot about acorn flour, and I will tell you it is a better low carb option. In a serving, you're looking at about 15 total carbs, but about 11 of those carbs are fiber.
Wow.
It is a very good anti-inflammatory type of flour. You can actually buy it, but based on what you're talking about here, Laura, I would tell you to follow your ancestral roots and work on making it yourself. Then, of course, you know what's in it. There is a bit of a process because you need to get the tannins out and stuff, but I know that it can be used kind of like a regular nut flour. It's going to have a little bit different taste. I know a lot of people would also mix it with regular flours, which you really don't want to do. It's also great for thickening stews and roux and stuff like that. So I highly recommend, especially if you want to really learn something about your heritage and try it out. Basically, you're going to do is get a whole bunch of acorns. You're going to grind them up, and then you're going to do some boiling and stuff. And then you can go ahead and dry it and use it for whatever you want to use the nut flour for.
I think that is so beautiful. A lot of times people have a hard time going keto because they're going to have to leave behind some heritage dishes or things that they, like connect to family. So here is an instance where you can go way back in your roots and bring something to the forefront that would really be beautiful and life-giving.
Yeah. Next one is from Jesus Freaking Ketovore.
Well, hello.
My take on cheat meals, like you, Joe, is a dangerous path to travel down. I have found the better tactic for me is to plan a day which I call a feast day. I stay on plan, but I increase my caloric intake. I do firmly believe that this has helped me to stay on plan while at the same time help me to decrease my weight.
I really like that idea. For us, when it comes to I just want to call it like a special day. Special days for us is like going to the Brazilian steakhouse where you're probably, we've actually proven we eat about the same. It's just going at a slower rate and we're enjoying the food as we consume it. But another thing that you can also do that I like to do is make it something that's a little bit of a treat as far as price goes. So I found at one of our grocery stores, for instance, that they carried sushi grade seafood. So I purchased some sushi grade salmon. It was a little bit pricey, definitely more than I would, pay for a normal lunch.
But not as expensive as going out to a sushi restaurant.
So it was right there in the middle, and I felt special. I felt honored. I felt like I truly was treating myself, but I wasn't undermining myself. So I really like your idea of saying, hey, maybe I'm going to expand the amount of food and calories. Maybe you are going to expand your eating window. Maybe you're going to expand the number of meals that you eat in a day, but you can also make it a price thing where you are allowing yourself to go out to a restaurant and buy a little bit pricier food, or you're going to go to the grocery store and allow yourself to indulge in something that's a higher priced or higher quality meat. All of those things can allow you to remain on plan as far as promoting better health, but still honor a special moment.
Yeah, like we talked about last week, like Larry is talking about here, there is zero reason to go off of keto. There are ways that you could make a meal a special meal, or an occasion a special occasion. If you are a carnivore person, as Dr. Berry says, maybe cheat on carnivore with keto.
Yeah.
And that could be if you're eating 90% meat, which we've talked about. If you're eating 90% meat and the rest of your diet is some whole foods, veggies, and you're keeping your total carbs on average, like 10, 15, you're carnivore enough, okay? Don't let anybody tell you you're not. But maybe you eat almost all meat, 90% meat, 95% meat, occasionally have some sweeteners, once in a while a salad, but you never have a dessert. And you decide, you know what, it's a special occasion, I'm gonna enjoy some keto ice cream, I'm gonna enjoy maybe a keto cake that I made or a cookie. I think that is a good way to cheat. If you're a keto person, maybe eating a little bit more, like Larry is talking about, saying, you know what, I'm not going to count anything today. You could be like me, where like I come on a cruise, or if I go out to a Brazilian steakhouse, I say, I'm going to allow myself to have a beet with dinner.
Are you kidding?
A beet.
You're divorcing.
I guess I get kicked out of the keto club, but listen, it's still a whole food, right? It's a beet. It's not going to affect me. Beets didn't get me to over 300 pounds.
Yeah.
Right? It was eating a chocolate thunder from down under, an Aussie cheese fries, and having an entire blooming onion just 5 hours after gorging in Golden Corral. That's what got me to 300 pounds. Not eating a beet.
My advice would be, don't beat yourself up about it.
But here's the thing, what Larry's talking about, eating a bigger meal, that's his cheat way. There is a term for that within the coaching realm for losing weight, nutrition coaching, and that is called, it is a refeed day.
Yeah.
And if you are on any type of diet to lose weight, because keto's not a diet, it's a lifestyle. So a diet is when you're working on reducing the amount of food that you are eating so that you can lose weight, right? That's the, what they call calories in, calories out, but we have to look at fuel, right? No matter what you're doing, to do any type of a diet right, you should be doing a refeed day generally once a month. A refeed day is where you're not counting anything. You're sticking to the types of foods you should be eating. A refeed day is not a day to go eat a bunch of sugar or a bunch of potatoes or anything like that. A refeed day is where you increase the amount of food you eat, because that begins to ramp your metabolism back up to offset the fact that you're under eating on a normal basis.
Yeah.
So this is not a bad idea, and I highly recommend, as you're coming into the holidays here, having a refeed day is much better than having a cheat day. Next one we have is from Vanessa.
Hi, Vanessa.
Vanessa said, for me, this lifestyle, or however you want to call it, has been a lifesaver. After many years of dieting and struggling, I have finally found my way of eating and living. I find it difficult to put a name on it because sometimes it's only meat and my coffee in the morning. And sometimes I feel like adding some veggies. It will change every time. For me, it's the most important to listen to my body and me and know and how I feel my best. I love the tips and tricks and meal ideas on your channel because I also love that there is a community out there of like-minded people. But I also love. Because it's sometimes hard to do the best for you when others don't understand.
Yeah, this is such a flexible, doable, approachable way of eating. It makes it self-sustainable wherever you are. We were talking about that throughout the cruise. Some people were sharing some of the past, diets that they have done and how it was built in to fail because of how restrictive it was, or was impossible. It was things that were built on, you had to take a pill along with it, or you had to only drink a shake, or you only could have a prepackaged meal. And so if you went away, if you visited family, if you went to a restaurant, it was not something that you could duplicate outside of your home kitchen when you could control all the variables. And what a blessing this is that you can go on a cruise and make keto work. You could shop at any grocery store. Some people were talking about how they could make keto work using the Dollar Tree or Dollar General. They've been able to make keto work at a gas station, make keto work on a road. So it's just such a blessing that this way of eating, by really focusing on whole foods, is so doable.
I love what she said is, why do I have to put a name on it? Yeah. Why do you have to put a name on it?
This is how I eat.
People ask us how we eat. I eat a mostly meat diet. That's how I eat. We are continuing to get comments from people about we are anti-carnivore. We're not anti-carnivore.
You're not listening.
We have a lot of our subscribers that are carnivore. What we are is anti-dogmatic carnivore of people who are telling us, or telling people in our group, which is worse, that this is the only way to eat, and if you're not eating this way, you're doing it wrong and you might as well quit. And don't tell me that there aren't people who are saying that, because there are. You can look at the comments on it, because we don't usually delete them, and there are influencers who say this stuff. We're not anti-carnivore. Our whole point is, why do we have to say what we are? Can't we just say that we are all on a spectrum of Dr. Berry's proper human diet?
Yeah.
Just because you eat 99% meat doesn't make you better than somebody who eats 80% meat.
No.
You're on a different spectrum, but we're still eating the proper human diet. And that's why I think Dr. Berry's term of proper human diet is the perfect thing. You're eating what you're designed to eat as a human being.
Right, as your species.
Next one is from Catherine.
Hey, Catherine.
Can you develop a soft serve recipe using keto chow, please? I actually have. And when we get back home from the cruise, we will be working on, filming that recipe. What I've been working on is trying to get it so that it is scoopable the next day.
Yeah.
That has been the key for me. I can easily give you a soft serve recipe, but I do want to make it scoopable. That has been the challenge because a keto chow ice cream tends to have a lot more water, which makes it not scoopable. So that's what we're working on. But within the next week or so, we'll be able to film that and then get it out for you. Next one we have is from Supernova. I have to put in a nasty comment.
Uh-oh. Hey, Supernova. Why?
So nasty comment on Supernova said, holy crap. You guys aren't making a great case for me to start keto.
Why?
I came across from YouTube from a video about breath testers that was about 6 years ago. But OMG, you two look 20 years older now. Sorry, just keeping it real.
Well, Supernova, kiss my grits. Just keeping it real.
I thought this was an interesting. I'd love to have Supernova present themselves and join our group and show me what they look like.
Yeah.
You know, because here's my thing. As I said earlier, I've had many people come up to me and tell me I don't look my age. And they're not saying I don't look my age that I actually look 15 years older than I am. They're saying I look much younger than I am. I, more importantly, feel younger than I am. I know that health-wise, when you look at all of our vitals, when you look at our blood tests, we are in impeccable health. If you're commenting that Rachel's hair in that video was dark
now,
and now it's
was
silver, it's because she colored her hair once every 3 weeks for 40 years of her life. And now she doesn't. So this is her natural hair color. And I'm going to challenge you, Supernova. I can pretty much guarantee I am in better health than you. So just keeping it real.
I'm not in a competition, but I don't see the point. I don't know, honestly, why you wasted a minute of your time typing that up.
I will say thank you, though, because according to YouTube, it's engagement. So your leaving a nasty comment does help build our channel.
Thanks
I really
for that.
appreciate that. So the last one we have is from Faded Star.
Hey, what's up?
Because we have to end with the positive one. Said, I am on board with Rachel.
Yes.
I am rethinking her marriage because you liked Necco wafers.
Okay.
Which is Pepto-Bismol flavored coated chalk.
That is exactly the taste. You have articulated the taste.
They were amazing.
And of course, I would separate wafers just like Oreos. Thank you. You get me. Because yes, if you ever, like, this is obviously a comment on the Chalk Zero things that were like the wafers where it's like wafer and then you have a cream of some sort and then another wafer and it's stacked. Yes, of course you took them apart. You were just biting into them?
There were several nasty comments on that video saying that nobody needs this. Nobody needs it. No, we never said anybody needs it.
We never said that.
We're reviewing a product going, should you consume it? And more importantly, is it any better? And to clarify something from that video, because we talked about the no sugar versions that are in the stores, it is better than the no sugar versions in stores. So to kind of amend that video, would I recommend it? Would I give it to my grandchildren? Yes, I would give it to my grandchildren over giving them the store-bought wafers that are sugar-free, that are made with all kinds of wheat flours and everything else.
And even though you're like, well, I would never give that to, I would not give either to my grandchildren, that's why they're your grandchildren. And that's why our grandchildren are our grandchildren. Every single home is doing something differently. And for the homes that, like ours, might give their grandchild a prepackaged product, that's who we're talking to. That's who we're trying to provide some information for.
Yeah, the answer isn't, do you need it? It's, is it okay for you to consume? I mean, you don't need this.
No.
Right? Honestly, this affects your health in a negative way. Yet, we all have one.
A lot of people.
We don't need this at all.
No.
We could survive without this, but yet we all have one. And so that's something that we need to look at. Like, no, you don't need to eat anything other than meat, some eggs, some cheese, an occasional veggie or something. You don't need coffee.
No.
You don't need tea. You don't need soda. You don't need any of that stuff.
But boy, do they make Joe friendlier.
Well, that is going to be the end of today's Keto Beyond the Couch. Like I said, next week we will be back live for Keto Beyond the Couch in our studio from the Double K Farm as we continue to work on that house and get ready for our newest residents, a really delicious pasture-raised pork from Kuni Pigs. We're not naming them because I'm not naming them because they're dinner. So we can call it like bacon, you know, okay. Anyway, we will be back live next week. Now, again, please leave some comments down below. Also, make sure you check out today's sponsor, which is Redmond Real Salt. If you like seeing videos like this, take a look at the video we have linked right over here. Also, make sure you take a look at the most recent video that I'm going to put right over there.
But whether you head this way or you head this way, don't forget to head this way, subscribe to our channel, and click the little bell icon, and that way every single time Joe has another year, you'll be alerted to it.
Till next time.
Bye.